Hello everyone, today I'm fitting a loft ladder in our hallway. Our loft hatch was looking very tired, and for years I've had a ladder propped up against the wall in the hallway, so it was definitely time to tackle this job. My first step was to sand and paint the hatch itself, which was incredibly satisfying. I chose the Essentials 3-metre 3-section loft ladder from Screwfix. I've linked it in the description box below. It came with all the fixings, a storing pole and a loft conversion kit, as your hatch door needs to open downwards. I chose to use a magnetic catch instead, but it was handy to have this all in the pack. The reason I chose the 3-section ladder was because the ladder would take up less space in the loft itself, and I didn't want to change the size of the loft opening. So step 1 was to slide on the hinge guides with the 2 holes upwards past the 2 sets of pre-drilled holes on the ladder itself. Step 2 was that I measured from the top of the hatch to the floor to work out whether I needed to attach the top stops to the first or the second line of drilled holes. There is a height guide in the instructions, and I found that I needed to use the lower or the second pre-drilled set of holes. I slid on the top stops and screwed them into place with the screws supplied. I did need some help with this project, so you'll see my husband in this video. Step 3, and at this point I actually departed from the instructions. So on the hinges they had 2 holes in them, but I decided to drill an additional hole, so ours have 3 holes each. This was because we were attaching the hinges to the edge of the loft hatch and the floorboards. It was probably overkill because the ladder is incredibly light, but I wanted to make sure that it was firmly attached. Step 4 was to remove the tiny plastic studs from the top of the ladder, as this is where the V-rod was going to fit. You then add the V-rod into the holes, and there are these tiny little star washers that you push onto the ends to secure. Step 5, fit the V-rod to the loft floor. I actually found this a bit tricky to get right. The ladder doesn't lie completely flat in the loft. If it's flat, I found that I couldn't pull it down from the floor below. So I think it might be that you need to sort of play around with this to get it right. I did eventually get it right, but there was a bit of trial and error, and it will depend on how deep your loft hatch is as to the best way for your loft ladder to lie inside the loft itself. Step 6, and the final job for me, was to fit a new loft hatch. I made a very simple hatch with a piece of plywood and a continuous hinge. I added a magnetic catch and I decorated the hatch with some trim. I am very pleased that I no longer have a ladder propped up in my hallway, and the loft hatch is looking beautiful and bright again. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!